Hello, everybody. How is everybody doing? It's been a while, right? It's been a while since I've done a little podcast here and there, right? But I've been busy. Like I've always said, whenever I have time, I'll come over here and jump on and do something. So yeah, that's why I'm here today, right? We can probably do a couple. I'll think of some things to talk about off the cuff, and we'll just roll with it. But in this specific podcast, I want to talk about uh, security industry, right? I want to talk about security training, right? People coming for training at my school, right? Students, new students, experienced students, security guards. I've been a security guard for a while, brand new security guards. I want to talk about these people and those who may be aspiring, who want to get into the security field, right? So let's talk about people who come here for training, right? They've went to other schools, other instructors. Again, I'm not knocking these other instructors or anything like that, but look, if you're coming here to my training center, right, I'm going to teach you what the state requires of us to teach you, but I'm going to teach you other things that you're not going to learn or hear from other instructors, right? Not a lot of other instructors have an attached watch guard patrol agency attached to their business, which is a licensed and insured security guard company, right? So we are a licensed and insured security guard company in the state of New York with an attached Division of Criminal Justice Services school, DCJS school, right? Security guard school. So we do both, right? I see both sides of it, right? I see the training, and then I see the security guard staffing side of it. So not a lot of other people have that experience. So when I teach my students, I teach from a standpoint of, okay, this is what the state wants us to tell you, but as a security company owner, this is also what I want to tell you that you need to know so that you don't get yourself in trouble, right? For instance, New York State tells us to teach to security guard students that security guards can make an arrest in the state of New York if certain situations are met. Certain situations meaning that the security guard needs to have witnessed the crime with their own two eyes, and they know, in fact, that the person they are arresting or have arrested is, in fact, the person that they witnessed with their own two eyes commit the crime. Now, that sounds confusing. All it means is if you see somebody commit a crime, you know that that person did it allegedly, right? Because as a security guard, it's not our job to get the case up to the DA, blah, 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 do major investigation. That's the police job. Get up DA, get it to court, right? Our job is only to be the Karens. And this is what I tell people in class. We're just the security Karens, right? We are making an accusation or a charge that somebody did something that they weren't supposed to do and that we witnessed it, right? So, not to get off on a tangent, if a security guard witnesses a crime happen with their own two eyes, they know, in fact, that that's a person that they saw with their own two eyes, right? Now, I tell people that, yes, you can make the arrest under the certain circumstances that are in the presentation for security guard training. But I also tell people, no, you shouldn't be making arrests, right? The state says you can make an arrest as a citizen. I tell security guards, don't make an arrest, right? That side of it is from a security company and insurance standpoint. Now, let me break it down for you guys, right? Nowhere in the 8-hour pre-assignment, the 16-hour on the job, right? And nowhere in the 8-hour annual is it teaching you restraint and control techniques, self-defense and all this other stuff. Let me tell you, if you are a security guard at the local Walmart, let's call it, and you witness somebody stealing something, and you go over there, security, stop it, put your hands where I can see them, all this other funny business, right, that you see on cops, right? But we're not police officers. Some of us are. But while you're working as security, you're not, right? Even if, you're active or retired, security, well, active is a different story, but we're not going to go off onto that rabbit hole. But again, let us not get off on tangent. Now, you go over to this person, you say, "Look, I saw you stole something and you went past the last point of sale, you exited the property, you're under arrest." And you take your little handcuffs out. You put your hands behind your back. Now, you think somebody is going to let you put handcuffs on them, depriving them of their free will to leave and move around? Do you think people are going to let you do that and just, "Oh, I give up. Yeah, you got me"? No. No, they're not. They're going to fight you or they're going to walk away. Now, let's revert back to the security guard training. As I said, there's no material of self-defense, defensive tactics. There's no arrest techniques, control techniques, all this other stuff. There's nothing in there. So now you as a security guard, you go over and you know what? You mother beep. I'm going to put these handcuffs on you whether you like it or not. And you put the handcuffs on them, right? And you put them on incorrectly or you injure them or, you put them on too tight. Next thing you know, their fingers are all blue. What do you think is going to happen? Even if they did commit the crime, right? They did commit the crime, let's say. In the state of New York, you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. So people sue people every single day for little stupid things just to get money out of people, right? So now you arrested that person, blah, blah, blah. They got brought back into the Walmart and this and that, and they get a trespass order, or even if they get arrested, for larceny, whatever, by the police. Now, a year goes by. You get a knock at your door. Boom, 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 boom. "Hey, my name is Sheriff so-and-so with the blah, blah, blah civil unit of the Sheriff's Department. I'm here to serve you a civil subpoena." And you go, "Huh?" And you open it up, and there you are. What the hell is that? So at any rate, excuse me, that's just camera activation at one of our properties. But at any rate, let's keep going on. So at any rate, you open it up and you see uh you're being sued by Mr. So and so because they're alleging that you use excessive force. Now, you go to court, you show up to court, and you get up there on the stand. Hopefully your ass has a lawyer because you're going to need it because they're going to tear you apart once you get up on that stand, right? So at any rate, their lawyer might go, "Hey, look, Mr. So-and-so, you're a security guard. You were a security guard working for the Walmart." And you'll go, "Yes." And they go, "Well, is it true that you were working on the day of such and such and such?" And you're going to go, "Yes." And then they're going to go, "And at that point, you saw my client do this shoplift." And you're going to go, "Yes." And then they're going to go, "Okay." And then you made an arrest for my client and you put handcuffs on my client. And you're going to go, "Yes, I did." So now that's when the lawyer's going to start digging into you, right? The lawyer's going to go, "Okay, so you admit to putting handcuffs on my client. Now, can I ask, were you ever properly trained on how to put handcuffs on?" And you're going to go, "No." So then their lawyer's going to go, "Okay, so now you put handcuffs on, but you weren't properly trained how to put handcuffs on. Is it anywhere in the security guard 8-hour, 16-hour, or the 8-hour annual that teaches you how to restrain somebody?" And you're going to go, "Oh, no, I never learned it." And so the lawyer's going to go again, "Okay, so you admit to putting handcuffs on. You put handcuffs on my client. You weren't properly trained. And you knew that it's not part of the licensing course." And you're going to go, "Yeah." And then they're going to, "Okay, well, look, because of your negligence, right? You were never properly trained. It's not part of the security guard curriculum. Now my client has gangrene. Their fingers fell off because the handcuffs were too tight. We want $2 million settlement or $2 million judgment, I should say. And you're going to look up there and like, oh, shoot, I should have never put a handcuffs on. So that's why I say, yes, you can make arrests in the state of New York as a citizen, as a security guard, but you should not unless it's something that's right. When I say arrest, I mean putting the handcuffs on them, right? If we back up a second, arrests can be more than just putting handcuffs on somebody. An arrest can be simply telling somebody to stop. Hey, look, stop. You're not free to go. That could be an arrest, as well as if you're working at the mall, let's call it, or wherever, and you block them in with the security patrol vehicle. That can be construed in court as an arrest. You're preventing somebody from going about their business. You're depriving them of their own free will and free movement to go. It could be an arrest in any court, really. So an arrest doesn't mean putting handcuffs on somebody, but as I'm talking about, arrest meaning handcuffs on somebody, right? So again, you got to be very, very careful with that. Now, I see a lot of security guards running around with handcuffs, and I know for a fact that just placement of the handcuffs, I know they're not properly trained. Now, there are other schools that offer these other classes, such as handcuffing techniques and baton and pepper spray and this and that and this and that for heavy coin. But I mean, it's good to go get that training, right? I'm not knocking other instructors. They have to make their money. They're trying to help inform people too. But the thing about it is, most of the stuff that you spend $300, $400, $500 on all these other training guys, you're not going to be able to use it at some of the security companies you work at. That's just the sad reality of it, right? You went out, you got the training, whatever is good for you, but you're not going to be able to use it. I can tell you right now, other security companies, right? Well, in the state of New York, as a security guard, you cannot have a baton, collapsible baton, expandable baton, whatever, billy club. You can't have those. They're illegal in the state of New York. Now, if you're working for, I knew like some hospitals who the security guards had batons, but they were actually certified peace officers, not police, peace officers. That's a different story. I don't want to go off a tangent because it'll start confusing people. But if you're working for whatever XYZ security company, you can't have a baton, right? You're a regular security guard. At one point, pepper spray was illegal depending on what you got, where you got it from. But now you can get pepper spray from basically anywhere. Now, even though pepper spray is legal and a security guard can carry pepper spray, however, it is up to your employer, right? It is employer policy based on what their insurance company says, right? What level of risk they're looking to expose themselves to. So if your job says no pepper spray, no handcuffs, while you're working for them, that means you cannot carry pepper spray and you cannot carry handcuffs. Now, if you do carry pepper spray and handcuffs, I mean, you run the risk of getting written up, suspended, terminated because you've blatantly violated company policy. That's up to you. But now, if you're in a situation where you pepper spray somebody, right, and you weren't properly trained on using pepper spray, certified to carry pepper spray, or allowed to be in possession of such pepper spray while you're working, and you get into something and you spray somebody, right? I can go off on many different routes here, and I think I will as it relates to pepper spray just to keep the audience informed, right? So let's talk about the liability side of it really quick. You pepper spray somebody, you weren't supposed to have it. Your ass is in trouble, buddy. If you think just, legally wise, right? If they turn around and they want to sue you, or you use pepper spray unjustly, right? Your ass, you could be going to jail for assault as a security guard if you use pepper spray when you weren't supposed to. But now you pepper spray somebody and they lose vision in their eye permanently, or they have an asthma attack and, crack their head open. They're going to want to sue you as a security guard, right? It's shared liability in this industry. You do something you're not supposed to do, you are responsible personally. The security guard company may or may not be responsible, as well as their insurance company, right? They may not indemnify you. And now in some cases, actually all cases, the client may be responsible too. But the security guard company's insurance and the client's insurance are going to argue and settle on a number of percentage that they're responsible for. Now, I'm going to tell you that they're going to try their insurance company, right? If they don't make money, keep money, they'll go out of business. So they don't want to give up anything. So they're going to accept the lowest amount of liability or responsibility for the actions that you have done. So now you may turn around and they may go, hey, well, look, we're only about 10% responsible, security guard, blah, blah, blah. Or they might say not at all because it's you went against company policy. Yeah, they're going to say, no, we're not responsible. So now you as a security guard, you're totally responsible for whatever damages happened to somebody because you pepper sprayed them and weren't supposed to carry it. Now, a lot of things go into carrying pepper spray, right? You have these security guards that go out to the gas station and buy pepper spray. They think they can use it. They get into something and, next thing they're hurting themselves, they're hurting other people. Now, pepper spray can be very dangerous. And I'll say it again, pepper spray can be very dangerous. Now, there are some people that aren't affected by pepper spray, right? The cayenne in it, depending on what it is. You could pepper spray somebody, they can have no effect. They'll just blink, and then that's it, But the desired effect of pepper spray is to be able to obviously burn the, temporarily burn the eyes. Well, I won't say burn, but let's keep it simple. Burn the eyes, irritate the nasal passages, irritate the airway so that it can neutralize an individual and you could take custody, care, and control of them. That's what pepper spray can be used for. Now, in saying that, since it inflicts temporary discomfort and irritation on those senses, let's call it, it could actually cause more harm than good. I mean, people can go blind. I mean, you got an eye condition or you just had LASIK or something, you got pepper spray, or you have asthma, right? It's an irritant. It could cause somebody to have an asthma attack. So you have to be very careful about, using it because you don't want to hurt somebody. You don't want to get hurt yourself. Now, when I say hurt yourself, what do I mean? Pepper spray comes in various different forms, right, that it could be dispensed, right? You have a stream, you have a fog, and this and that and blah blah blah. Now, let's use an example how you can hurt yourself and others who weren't intended to receive the spray. It's a windy day, and you want to go and you want to pepper spray somebody, and you pepper spray them, and it shoots out. The next thing you know, it's coming back at you, and you're like, what the? Ah! Now you just sprayed yourself, right? Because you didn't take into account the wind, right? So now some departments or whatever, people will switch to, the gel, right? The stream, let's call it. And that's exactly what it's called. They switch to the stream because they think it has more mass and velocity, that it's not as aerated or aerosoled. And, the chances of picking up in the wind and affecting you and others around you is a bit lower. But I will tell you, with the stream, it could be just as worse, right? I pepper spray you with a stream, which is a straight line, and I hit you in the forehead or somewhere, and it bounces off and it flies right back at me. Can that happen? Yes. Same thing with glasses, sunglasses. It can happen. It'll bounce right back off. So you have to be very careful, right? You shouldn't be, well, first of all, you shouldn't be shooting at somebody's damn head with the stream anyway. But I'm not going to go into and give you recommendations as to where you're supposed to use it, because honestly, I think it's useless. I think it's useless, and it's just an insurance risk, right? I tell my people don't carry it. And if they do, they're on their own, and they know this, right? But I recommend, places to go to get trained, or some of the police officers we have, show them, blah blah blah. But it's just our insurance company really doesn't want people carrying the pepper spray. So again, it's a risk. It's a risk. This whole game, this whole security thing is a big risk. Insurance, but our job is to keep people safe, keep people secure, but it's also not to get ourselves in trouble, not to get our clients in trouble, right? So again, none of this, most of this information I just given you is not in any of the security guard training. So, I just feel that some other places will like read by the book, and then not give you real world examples, because maybe they don't have real world examples. Maybe they were a security guard, became an instructor, but they never stepped in the mud, right? They never got their hands dirty. They can't speak from, deep, relevant experience. So again, I just say show up, do your job. But hey, look, training, learning never stops, right? You come here, you train with me, you get the realest information that you need in an understandable format. It's just that, there's other instructors, other qualified instructors out there that I can recommend, and then there's some that I won't recommend. But what I don't like is how sometimes people, they come to training, they go, hey, look, well, such and such instructor told me this, and no. You leave that at the door. Leave that at the door, because you are coming to me. You are paying me. Thank you. You are paying me to teach you, to gear you towards the right direction of being the best you can be, right? Be successful in your role as security, right? Advance on, right? So I don't need to be told this person does it this way, this person, or this. The only thing I want to hear is that you learned something, today. And I'll ask you at class, did you learn anything? And all the students that I've had always say that such and such didn't tell them this. And I go, hey, well, that's why you're here, right? That's why you came here, to learn this information that you're not going to learn at any other place. So I'm not going to sit here and make my, my head fat and explode and tell you I'm the best of the best, because I'm not. I'm just somebody who's been out there in the trenches and is now chief executive officer and a lead DCJS trainer, right? I can tell you life experiences that I had. But again, you don't want to get yourself in trouble out there in the field. So yeah, that's it. So that's going to wrap up this episode. We're just under half an hour, and I want to do another one. So yeah, maybe tune into the next one, see what I have to say in the next podcast. But for now, take care of yourselves. Don't get your ass arrested or sued. You're not a cop, right? You don't want to be sitting up there in court. So until then, I'll see you next time.